Hello and welcome to Spinster's Library. I'm Claudia, this is Minerva's butt, and this is the 5th episode in the Women in Harry Potter series. Spoilers from now on. Well, the entire series of Harry Potter books. No, I don't need my lipstick. As you may have deduced from the title, and possibly the heavy cat presence, this episode is about Mrs. Figg. I was not lying when I said I wanted to talk about every female character in the book. Well, that's every character that's got something to give. And you might think that this episode will be short and sweet and not all that deep, but there is more to Mrs. Figg, Harry's, quote, batty old neighbour, than you'd think. Obviously, within the story, there's the beautiful reveal in the Order of the Phoenix about her not just being a clueless old muggle, but actually a member of Dumbledore's resistance group against Voldemort. But what I find more interesting than this character's surprise appearance as Dumbledore's spy is her portrayal as the archetypal spinster. Obviously, I love a good spinster, and J.K. Rowling makes liberal use of that trope. Mrs. Figg is only the first spinster we really meet, but she is soon to be followed by characters like Professor McGonagall, Aunt Marge, Dolores Umbridge. So, what makes a good spinster? Here's your handy 3-point guide to spotting one in the wild. First point, cats. Mrs. Figg has, of course, several. They seem unusually intelligent, and she has a connection to them that goes beyond the standard pet and owner relationship. In the Order of the Phoenix, we see her instruct Mr. Tibbles to trail Harry. You're not that bright, are you, Beetle? No, you're not. No, you're not. Don't need my lipstick. The link between women and cats and witchcraft goes back to at least the Middle Ages, so it doesn't surprise me that Mrs. Figg seems to have a whole horde of familiars. J.K. Rowling's world is heavily based on those ancient archetypes, which makes it all the more interesting that her characters, which are so closely associated with feline familiars, are all squibs. So people who are part of the wizarding world but don't actually have any magical powers beyond this strange connection to cats. As well as Mrs. Figg, there is of course Argus Filch, the caretaker at Hogwarts. He only escapes the branding of spinster purely by being a male. Other spinster characters closely connected to cats are of course Dolores Umbridge and Professor McGonagall. The parallel between older unmarried women and cats is clearly not a coincidence in this series. Second point for how to spot a spinster is they are usually physically unattractive, especially seen through the male gaze of Harry the narrator. They are also crucially single. The witch in history has always been a single woman. There is a really interesting historical link between accusations of witchcraft and unmarried older women, which plays into the literary archetype of the witch as we know it today. I'm going to put some links to articles that explore this connection deeper in the description box if you're interested. It's pretty easy really. Is the lady you're looking at hot by current societal standards? Probably not a spinster then. Similar descriptions can be noted for the characters of Sybil Trelawney, Dolores Umbridge, and to some degree Hermione Granger as well, who also has a cat. Thirdly, a spinster is usually pretty powerless. This is where Rowling kind of deviates from the script. Mrs. Figg is a perfect picture of old lady harmlessness in the first 4 books, until she comes running at Harry in the Order of the Phoenix after his Dementor attack, wielding a big bag full of cat food tins, with which she whacks Mundungus Fletcher over the head. In my opinion, that's the perfect metaphor for her own spinstery brand of power. She has the ability to effect change even as literally the most powerless person in the whole scene. Mrs. Figg is not just a frail old lady, but she's also incapable of wielding magic, so she quite literally uses that spinsteriness, symbolised by a big heavy bag of cat food tins, to exert power over a supposedly capable male wizard. Out of all the different forms of femininity that Rowling describes in her female character, the trope of the spinster is probably the most overlooked, just like poor old Mrs. Figg herself. I can only hope that in a few decades I will also bore my neighbours' children out of their wits with photos of my half a dozen cats, only to come to their rescue when they need it, while wearing carpet slippers, because why the hell not? So, ladies and gentlemen, and anyone else really, please let me know, are you a spinster? Do you aspire to be a spinster? Do you think more of Mrs. Figg now than you did before? Please let me know. Thank you for watching. Bye.